I've been sitting here talking to y'all for about 5 minutes. No, a good 3 minutes. And I wasn't even recording. Yeah, so I called off. Like I was saying, when I got through talking to y'all, my stomach just got crazy upset. And like I said, I think it had to do with that Chinese food that I had last night. So I called off. I'm gonna go ahead and run and go donate right quick and get it out the way, because like the weather it looks like it might be bad, so I want to get it out the way. I moved my car from around the corner. I parked it behind, you see it in the back there behind Laville's. I should have parked it up here, but whatever. I need to get gas in it, because my intentions was to take my car out there and get gas, because the gas is cheaper out there, but I don't want to drive it in this weather. So if I'm just let it sit, the next time I get in it, like if I drive it to church Sunday, or even if I drive it to donate Saturday, if the weather's not bad and if Laville's not, you know, if he's home or whatever. If he's home, I'll take this one. But if he's not, then I'll take mine if the weather isn't bad, and get gas out there. Well, I won't be able to get gas out there because I don't think it's enough to get me out there. Yeah, either way, I had to put gas in it. I'm gonna have to put gas in it at some point. Be it, you know, maybe I'll drive it today to the gas station and back, you know, which I really, really hate to do out here. I should have just stopped when I was supposed to, when I was out there to get gas. But I didn't. So, yeah. I'm on my way, guys. Hopefully I'll be okay until I get back, because like my stomach is not right. I do have my water here. The closer I get to my destination, I will start drinking it. But yeah, I guess I'll take you guys along with, okay? Hopefully I'll be able to get to and from swiftly, you guys. It's crazy because I couldn't even tell if I was recording. It's constantly, I keep thinking I'm recording and I wasn't. It's been a while. Like, even, you know, when I look up, I have to remember to focus on that red, and if the numbers are moving, then I'm recording. But sometimes it's hard to pay attention to that because I'm doing multiple things at the same time, and you want to be safe, you know? Guys, I was trying to think of talk to you guys a story time. I don't know how to do that. I'll try to position this where I can talk to you guys. I don't know. I guess this will have to do. Yeah, I was thinking about a story time for you guys. You know, when I told y'all, you know, as far as my marital situation or status, I am still legally married, even though we have been separated for, man, y'all, years. Okay, let's see, how old is the baby? Man, y'all, we've been separated over 10 years, I think. But we've been married for a long time. I'm 50. And I've been married since I was 21. I think so. I think I've been married since, or was I 20? Either since I was 20 or 21. So that's like what, 30 years? I don't know. I can't do the math right now. I'm trying to focus while I'm driving. But I've been legally married for, y'all, years. And you know, we still get along. You know, we actually get along better not being together. And that's just, you know, because he has issues. You know, everybody has issues, don't get me wrong. And I'm not, you know, this video is not to put anybody down or bad talk or bad mouth anybody. It's just awareness of situations that so many people go through in life. It's reality, you know. That's just the reality of it, right? When I was growing up, you know, my dad struggled. That's no secret. He struggled with, drugs off and on, alcohol off and on. It was a battle. It was a struggle. And him and my biological mom are no longer together. And I mean, they are divorced. And a lot of that was, a lot of it was due to his struggle. It affected everybody in the home. When you are with someone who has an addiction of any kind, it affects everyone in the home. Okay? So I've always said I didn't want to be with anybody who had addictions of any kind like that. I will say this though, I did learn a lot. I love my dad tremendously. Regardless of his addictions, he taught us a lot. And I learned a lot because of his addiction, both negative and positive. I learned a lot from him. I learned a lot from my mom. And when I met their dad, I was really serious about not wanting to be with anybody who had addictions like that, serious addictions. And he assured me that he did not. And because he was a friend of my uncle's in Wisconsin, I assumed if he, had bad addictions or anything like that, I felt like, and I love my uncle. I felt like he would let me know, he wouldn't let me be with, I assumed he wouldn't let me be with somebody who he knew wasn't right. So I truly believe, and he's never mentioned he's never mentioned anything to me negatively about him, so maybe he didn't know, I don't know, but the point is, I didn't see it. I didn't see it, okay? He did a great job of keeping it from me, and then when I did find out about it, it was, a situation where it can't be denied, and it took a toll. And at that point, okay, I'm in it now. We have kids now, so it's like, okay, let's try to figure this out. Let's try to work on it. That's this, that's that. So I did my best for years, off and on for years. Like, we separated a couple of times, off and on for years, because it was just too much. There's times when, and the whole time, like, I'm working, I'm busting my butt, I'm trying to keep a roof over my family's head, food on the table, clothes, what I'm saying? I couldn't provide them with, the name brand, the fancy shoes and all of that at the time. They were little. Thank God about them being little. They didn't care about that as little kids, it's as they got older. But even little, they experienced and witnessed and dealt with a lot with having a family member on drugs, and it was tough. It was tough because they would see their dad on drugs and doing things and not doing things. My dad, granddad, it was tough, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. And it was tough for me, trying to, and I never signed up for that. I never signed up for being the one. I always wanted to be the best mom, the best wife. I never wanted to be the one out there having to do everything. What I'm saying? Yes, I wanted to do my part. If I had to work. I never had an issue with that. I just didn't want to do everything, and it was difficult. He couldn't keep a job. Like, we got him a job on the railroad, y'all. A dang good job on the railroad. My dad used to work for the railroad, so we got him a good job on the railroad. My mom bought him his first boots. I helped him with the application, the resume, and everything. Got him in the door, working. He couldn't keep the job. You know what I'm saying? It was so frustrating. I relocated. I moved from Chicago, Illinois to Wisconsin because that's where the job took him. So as a wife with kids, that's where I went, and it was tough, uprooting and going all the way to somewhere else, living in somebody else's home, the chaos, it was tough. It was tough, you know. And I seen a lot of what his mom, you know, would go through, and, you know, people in and out. And, you know, I would try to wash the dishes and keep things clean. And I wasn't, you know, I wasn't one that cooked. You know, my mom did all the cooking, you know. And I really didn't eat a lot of soul food back then, especially. And, you know, I'd eat pizza every day, all day, or not at all. I wouldn't eat anything at all. Like, I was really thin, for many reasons. But, you know, I was trying to not only make life easier for me, but, you know, for her household. You know, it was just a lot when you have somebody that's on drugs and they're supposed to, you know, have your back, and y'all supposed to be in it together. And it's like you really in it yourself. You know what I'm saying? And it was tough. I'm not gonna lie. You know, our oldest son, when he was little, he didn't even like his dad. And you couldn't blame him, because dad wasn't hardly ever around. If he wasn't at work, he was out in the street. You know, you can't blame a kid. Like, who is this, right? He just didn't care for him that much, and I couldn't get mad, you know. But eventually he grew out of that, and, you know, he warmed up to his dad. And I was the type of wife where if my husband was out working, when he came home, his food was ready, his bath water was ready. You know what I'm saying? My house was clean. He didn't have to do nothing but come home, spend time with his kids, and go to bed. You know? And I learned that, you know, I was to hear my dad all the time talk about stuff. So a lot of things, you know, I learned from hearing things that he would say. You know what I'm saying? And I thought, you know, hey, I'm gonna be the best wife. And I'm doing all this stuff for somebody who didn't even at the time deserve it, because of, well, now I won't say didn't deserve it, but didn't appreciate it. You know, because he was just too busy out there. You know, I remember one of his sisters used to tell me, I wouldn't do that. You know, and I was like, that might be why you're not married. You know, you do things like that for the people that you care about. You do things like that for one another. You know, if one's out there working and the other one's not, you hold down the fort at home, and while they doing this, that, and the other, you know. But man, y'all, it was tough. And we had separated so many times. I had to relocate so many times. It's so frustrating. Start over so many times. It was hard. You know, I couldn't be there for my kids like I wanted to. And even just talking about it right now is practically bringing me to tears, because I've always said that I wanted to be able to enjoy my pregnancy from start to finish. Enjoy my children, you know, going to the zoo. We stayed at the zoo, you know, like I had a matching all the time, and you know, they was always groomed. You never seen them looking raggedy. Every now and then, that's because they just decided to get out and act, you know, play and just wild out. But I cared, you know. And then I got to the point where I started drinking a lot, you know. And when they say it's a, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember what the word I'm looking for, but, you know, it goes down and down and down the bloodline. You know, if you have a parent that's, you know, on alcohol, that's drinking or whatever, and you got kids, 9 times out of 10 they will too. You got some that won't. You know, but you do have some that 9 times out of 10 are going to go that route as well, because they see it. You know what I'm saying? They see it. Regardless if you have parents that say, do as I say, not as I do see you. You know what I'm saying? So that's easier said than done. And that's why I always try to communicate with my kids on a different level, because I didn't want to be the one telling them, do as I say, not as I do, but yet I'm sitting in your face doing the same thing I tell you not to do. No, we talked about it. You know what I'm saying? We talked about it. But y'all, it was tough. I'm not gonna lie. It was beyond tough. You know, and sometimes I look back on it and I say, well, you know, me being a child of God, I should have handled it this way. Or I should have did this, or I should have did that. I did the best that I could. You know, there is no shoulda, woulda, coulda, because it's done. You know what I'm saying? yeah, I could have, been a better child of God. There was one time we went to church, and a friend of my grandmother's, who my grandma had not, her name was Ann, who my grandmother had not seen in years, and she had come to the house, and she had met us, and she was like, she began to prophesy, and she said, this man is going to do something. He's going to be a powerful man of God. She asked me, she said, how do you feel about being a first lady? She said, I can see this man being a preacher. Da, 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 da. And I had to tell y'all, I honestly got, and I prayed about it, talked about it, but I had honestly got offended, because I felt like, how he gonna be a man of God when we just not getting him to learn about who God is, and that God is real, and and I'm the one that, I'm like, what does she mean him? What's so special about, I was like, now that was just ignorance, right? And I do see where he could have done a lot of things, even with his addiction. There are so many kids and people that he could mentor to, and I thought that maybe one day he would do that, but he never did. So, again, that has a lot to do with, again, our will. We have free will, and sometimes instead of doing what we should have been doing, we decide to do what we want to do, and we're off course or off track, and sometimes you may never get back on that course or track. You're just off because we keep doing what we want to do instead of what God has for us to do, and y'all, like I said, we are still married, and multiple times I filed papers and things, and he was supposed to go and do this, that, and the other, had him notarized, gave him the paperwork, but then he told me he did this, that, and the other. Months go by. He finally tell the truth and say he threw the papers away. Like, it was always something, and it's expensive, and it sucks, it's expensive. It really is. And I just felt like, why should I be the one to have to pay it all? It's not fair. And it was at one point I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it, get it over with, but I never did, because stuff kept coming up, because you gotta understand, I'm still a mom, I'm still a grandma, and when I'm needed, if I can do it, I'm gonna do it, even if that means putting me on the back burner. And I've always been that way, and it's hard to get out of that, and all I can do is trust God, and I know he's gonna make a way. I truly believe that. I know he's gonna make a way. I just I don't know when, what I'm saying, but I know he's gonna make a way. But yeah, I am still legally married. It's been I think it's been about 30 something years. I'll probably figure it out a little bit later. But and I enjoyed being married, I really did, I just enjoy the craziness, okay? Not every marriage is perfect. You're gonna have ups and downs, you're gonna bump heads at times, but to be able to talk about it, to be able to communicate, which is something we had stopped doing. We were able to communicate at one point. We were on the same page at one point, even with the addiction, trying to work through it and deal with it, but he just it just became more difficult and difficult to the point I had finally had enough. He's in and out of jail. I'm doing everything, raising these kids, just everything myself, family members helping here and there, my family, and it's not to put nobody else down or anything, but I had my sister there. She, I've never bought either of my kids a coat. She was always doing things like that for the kids, and I so love and appreciate her for that. Financially, sometimes I would need assistance. She would come through, my mom, my dad. My family was always there, and God, and I worked. I worked. It was tough, but I worked, y'all. It just, man, I wanted to give my kids the world, you know, and not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually. You know, I wanted to be there. I wanted to show them and give them things. And I feel like at times I was robbed of that, and not only by him, but myself. You know, I myself got in the way of that, because there's so many things I could have done different, right? But I was trying so hard to be strong, to be a good wife, to be an understanding wife. I was trying so hard to fight, to believe, you know, and I still do believe, you know, in marriage. You know, I believe in that unity and that spiritual life. I believe in it. I believe in that two are one. I believe wholeheartedly, but I also believe that you have to, it's not going to work if it's not who God created for you. Okay? But we get in the way. And in spite of that, God blessed me with beautiful children. Beautiful children, you know. The two by him biologically, and then he's raised my daughter helped me raise my daughter since before she turned 1. She was calling him daddy before she turned 1. And they had a great relationship, you know. But again, you know, drugs got in the way. You know, we taught, he was a dang good driver, wow, but could drive his butt off, and taught my daughter to drive. You know, my baby was driving before she was 9 years old. Right? And she helped me teach the boys to drive, you know, and he did too, when, you know, as time went on. Like I said, when he was right, he was right, but when he was wrong, you know. And it was tough, y'all. It's tough being with somebody who has addictions. And even myself, like I said, it got to a point where even life just got difficult. And then I started drinking. You know, I was trying to deal with life, you know. But the only thing is, when you drunk, doggone, y'all hear these doggone, the salt truck, that salt hitting the car so hard, dang, hitting the window. But y'all know what, like I said, and life began to get difficult for me. And listen to this, look, y'all hear that? That's from the salt truck. But life began to get difficult to me, and I began to drink to try to deal with life, you know. And I began to drink to the point I was drunk. I began to drink to fit in, you know, with other people that didn't even give a damn about me one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to fit in and be like these people. I wasn't meant to fit in. I wasn't meant to be like them. I didn't understand or realize that at the time, because I was still trying to grow. I was still trying to learn who I was. And I'm just drinking, spending money, you know, being used. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks. It sucked big time, but I learned a lot from it. I learned to stand on my own. I learned to be strong. I learned to fight when I need to. You know what I'm saying? I learned to hold my peace when I need to, which can be difficult. But I learned a lot, y'all. And I just decided I will take nothing from no one. I would not allow anyone to ever feel like it's okay to say, do, or whatever to me. I will not. You know, I have every intentions on, hold on one second, guys. Sorry, guys. I was trying to open my thing so I can drink my water. I don't know why the lid is so freaking tight. And I thought I opened it, and I go to drink it, and I didn't open the little whole part. I opened the whole thing and poured all over myself. It's frustrating. I don't know why it's so tight. I don't know why it's so tight. I had forgot I needed to drink that water, so hopefully I'll be okay. But the point is, you guys, when I started to do that, you know, I wasn't there for my kids like I wanted to, because I'm drunk all the time, you know, and they see this, you know, and it's not good. So my kids witnessed and dealt with and saw a lot growing up. And I'm glad I don't, I've never been one to hide things from them. I believe in reality. You know what I'm saying? I believed in talking about it even then, because I never wanted my kids to be ignorant of reality. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my dad is on drugs and he's doing this, that. I still want my kids to have a relationship with their dad, with their granddad, with their dad. You know, why hide it from them? They're gonna see it eventually anyway. They have to understand and they have to know what's going on, and that's how I felt. That's just how I felt at the time. I'm not gonna hide it. I'm not gonna try to cover it up. You can't. You know, I'm telling it like granddad's on drugs. Yes, that's why he's acting that way. Your dad's on drugs. Yes, Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna, oh no, he's all right. Oh no, I'm not gonna do that and cover it up. I'm not gonna keep them from them, because guess what? If it ain't them that they're gonna meet in life, they're gonna meet somebody else in life, and they need to know, and they need to know how to deal with it and how to understand, so they're not blindsided. You know what I'm saying? And I don't regret that at all. At all. They are aware. You know, they see what drugs can do to you. It's not a lot of people here, y'all. I'm so happy about that. Look, not a lot of cars. So hopefully I'll be able to get in and get out. Definitely got to pee, so I'm gonna definitely pee before I get in that, sit in that chair. This is where I'm going, see? That's where I'm going. I'm gonna go ahead and park. Okay. Park. I'm going to turn off. How do I turn it off? Okay, no. Oh, that's how you turn the heat on the seat. How do I turn the heat off? It's the radio. Okay, I'm just gonna turn it off. The car. Oh, the key ain't coming out. There we go. I have to push it in now. Got the key. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in my pocket along with my key. Both keys. Yeah, I be so paranoid of getting locked out, and man, I make sure. Yeah, my teeth look super yellow, guys. I gotta give me some whitener from drinking coffee. And I know they say that coffee will stain your teeth. They're not joking. And I drink a lot of coffee, honestly. Let me sit y'all down for a moment. Now I got it open. I had the hardest time getting this thing open. My God. What I'm doing now, I should have done already. Like I said, I was having a hard time getting it open. So I'm here, guys. I'm going to go ahead and put my shoe back on, because y'all know I can't drive with my shoe on. I really got to fix that, especially when it's bad weather. Okay, so let me get on out of the car. And guess what, y'all? When I get out, I'm going to put my hand in my pocket, pull my keys back out the pocket, and look at it and make sure it's in my pocket. Like, even though I know I just put it in my pocket, right, while I was talking to y'all, I still have to look at it when I get out to make sure. Because, like I said, I'd be so paranoid about being locked out. That's my key. Okay. Keys in my hand. Lock the car. Okay. Got the key. Whoop. Got both keys. Go ahead and put it back in my pocket. Zip it up. This is where I'm going, y'all. So nice out. It's not even that cold. I guess maybe if you had to be out here a long time, it would be. So I'll talk to y'all later. Woo! Yeah. My teeth look so damn yellow from that coffee. Yeah, I just got finished donating. Whew, it's starting to come down now. Look. Yeah, it's starting to come down now, y'all. Put my seatbelt on. Sorry. So I'm gonna get ready to go. I'll let the car warm up a little bit. Let the car warm up a bit. Woo! I'm hungry too. I didn't eat nothing yet. My stomach actually growling a little bit. I took some pulled pork out. I'm gonna go ahead and make that barbecue pulled pork. I need to get some cheese and hamburger buns. But I don't feel like doing all that today, so I'm not going to. Bread, I don't know. I got a feeling that one of them might go out anyway, so maybe they can do it later, but I don't know. We'll see. Right now, I just want to get on home, y'all. It's coming down. Just walking out of there was slippery, and I had on some good shoes. I can just imagine how slippery it would have been for me trying to drive my car. That wouldn't have worked out. Let me get on across this light. Get on my butt home. I need to go to Walgreens so I can take some money off, because Walgreens don't charge. But I'm not going to. I'm ready to go. I'm just ready to go. So let me get on with the get on. Get my butt on. It's coming. Man. Yeah, if I had to come in my car, I definitely would have. I just would have had to really, 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 you know, be careful. Like, it's definitely icy out here. And it's coming down way more than it was when I first came. Oh, I'm hungry, y'all. Oh. Wow. I probably could have tried to run that light too, but, whoa, get across the light. But with me, it'd have been ran. It just never fails. Somebody else can go like what dude just did, no problem. But had that been me, the light would have turned red 3 times. I'd have got 5 tickets. You know, it never fails. Like, it never fails. At least in my car, it just never fails. It never fails. Every time I try to get across that light, that mugger turned red on me. And then a couple of days later, I got a ticket in the mail. Red light ticket. I'm paying every month for freaking red light tickets. I'm like, dang. And they don't, and it's not always mad. It's just cars in my name. I'm not gonna lie. Some are mad. Like, I ain't perfect. Not perfect at all. You know. I don't know no man. No man living that's perfect other than God. You know, other than my heavenly Father. Ooh, y'all. It's not as bad as it could be worse. Like, I guess it's building up to that, but right now it's not that bad. Right now it's not that bad. I mean, when you're in a good vehicle, it ain't that bad. You know? Driving a good ride, it ain't that bad. guys, yeah, I'm on my way home. I will talk to y'all later. Trying to debate on if I'm gonna stop and get some. I know I have to, so I'm going to for sure. I have to stop and get some bread, some cheese, some regular bread, some hamburger buns, some cheese, and maybe a soda and some chips to go with dinner. So yeah, I'll talk to y'all when I get to the store. Bye.